What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Creative Rise podcast. If you are tuning in via video, we got a little surprise.
A special surprise.
A little surprise for you. If you are listening to the podcast, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you are, we got a brand new puppy. So little Spears life update, a personal update for us. We've got a little puppy, and he's sitting right here. His name is Bogey. He's a little multi-poo puppy, and he's super cute. And he's a little bit chaotic, so we're glad that he's just sleeping right now and he's chilling.
Chaos in little cloud form.
Yes. So glad you're here today. We're going to be talking about something that we actually covered inside of a graduate community we have for Creative Rise Mastermind members. So about a month ago, we launched a new platform. It's actually an app. It's a community, like a little community platform where all of our grads have been given the opportunity to opt in and connect. And from round 1 to round 11 of the Creative Rise Mastermind, over almost 5 years, since 2019, we've had over 330 grads, and now they're all getting to connect on this new community platform. And we've got workshops, monthly Zoom call workshops we do, a bunch of other stuff. The platform is so fun. But one of the things that we covered on this month's workshop, we thought we'd share a piece of it with you guys. It's a little bit vulnerable. It's a little bit real and raw about Christy and I. And hopefully you can find yourself in it, and then you can figure out in your own brain, how this is applicable to you in running your business. But the theme of what we want to talk about today, the snippet of the workshop we want to give to you is there's 2 reasons why you might, not get where you want to get in 2024. You might not generate the results you want to get. We're actually only going to cover the first one in today's podcast. And the first one is you have a mindset issue. So we talk a lot about tactical stuff on the show. Mindset, I don't even really like the word mindset. It's a little bit of a trigger word. Like I used to love listening to mindset podcasts, and then I feel like I kind of got tired of them. And I just search for tactical stuff now when I'm listening to my own podcasts, trying to develop myself in whatever area I'm trying to do that in. But it's fundamentally important.
Yeah.
And it's so important to running a business.
Yeah. And I think the thing about the mindset stuff is you can have all the tactical things, but if you've got something in your brain psychologically that is keeping you from success, no matter what you do, it's not going to work, right? So that's why this is so important.
Yeah. So we're going to talk about the mindset issue that Christy and I both have individually, the different pitfalls we can fall to if we are unhealthy in a season of unhealth running our businesses. And then you can find yourself in each one of these. And then we're going to give you a reframe and talk about where you should reframe yourself, even in those seasons of unhealth, where you need to center yourself back to so that you can be operating your business well. So this isn't like crazy woo-woo mindset-y, none of that stuff. I think that's why mindset has gotten so
hectic.
Like that topic is because it just goes in so many different crazy directions.
Yeah.
This is simple, but it's almost strategic.
Yeah.
But it's about how you think about yourself and how you think about your business. So there's 2 different areas you can live in. There's 2 different camps you can live in terms of your mindset when you are running a business as a creator. And these 2 camps are actually polar opposites, and they're both really unhealthy. And so Christy falls into one, I fall into another. And it's so important that when we fall into these 2 different camps, we don't stay there. We don't, as our friend Bob says, just don't pitch your tent there. It's okay to have bad days. Just don't pitch your tent, okay? Don't stay there. Don't plan on staying. You got to do something to get out of it. So these are the 2 different areas that you can fall into. And they're pretty detrimental to your business.
Yeah.
And definitely detrimental to your growth of your business, and super detrimental to the fulfillment of even just running a business. And if it's fun or not, if you're enjoying it. So why don't you cover the first one?
Yeah. So if you're wanting to generate more results in your business this year, but you're kind of always coming up to a block. You feel like you've either hit an income ceiling or you're, just really struggling, and you're looking around going, why is everybody else succeeding and why am I not? You might fall under this, and it is no matter how hard I work, I won't get results. No matter how hard I work, I won't get results. And this is actually a mindset issue that I can fall into. And basically what this says is I'll never be good enough no matter how hard I work. So if you're somebody who maybe struggles with a little bit of self-doubt, maybe some insecurity around business, all of that kind of stuff, you can actually fall into this mindset and it can become super unhealthy. I, again, have said this is something that I would struggle with. I would look around and I would go, oh my gosh, I'm doing XYZ. But even if I do XYZ, I know I'm never going to be as good as this person, or my business is never going to reach this goal or anything like that. And it's interesting to watch my journey in business trying to overcome that and showing myself that it's actually possible. But it has to start with going, I can do it, right? I can make this happen. And we were at a inner circle retreat a few years ago. An awesome girl in our community. She is absolutely amazing and she's incredible and she's talented and she has everything that it takes. And I remember sitting down with her around a campfire and we were talking and I was like, we were talking about like, oh, where she wants to go, and she was just really struggling. But I was like, you have no reason that you should be struggling because you're so talented and all this stuff. And I remember looking at her and just asking, do you think you're going to be successful? Like, do you personally believe that you are going to be successful? And she looked at me, started crying. She's like, no, I actually don't. I feel like I'm really insecure that I actually don't think I'm ever going to succeed. And if you don't think you're ever going to succeed, that is going to be a self-fulfilling prophecy that's going to limit your business and your life. And so I want you just to go, if this is a camp you fall into, not just how do you blindly go, I'm amazing, I'm amazing, I'm amazing, and like manifest it into action. I don't think that actually is how it works. But I think you have to do strategic things like, hey, I need to go borrow confidence from somebody. I need to go to somebody who is doing what I want to do and align myself with them, get beside them and learn from them so I can have the confidence in the actions I'm taking to generate the same types of results, which is so cool. So if you are someone who struggles with this, try borrowing some confidence from somebody else. At least I know that that's what helps me so much.
That was good. That was really, really good.
Thank you.
Great job.
It's personal self-doubt experience really comes out.
Yeah. Speaking from the heart. All right. So the first one again is no matter how hard I work, I will not get the results. And really what's behind that is that you do not believe you deserve results. You don't believe you're ever going to be good enough to get results. It's an insecurity and a belief issue. You just said both those words. Those are the two like key words there. The two things behind this first issue, this first mindset issue you might fall into are insecurities and belief. Now, there's a flip side to this. There is a complete flip side to this, the opposite of what Christy just described. Often the opposite, actually, of the experiences she feels when she's feeling like she's in a tougher work season or whatever. And it is this season where I deserve great results despite how hard I work. And I can actually, when I get really unhealthy for whatever reason, I actually fall into this camp. And what's funny about this camp is that the camp of I deserve good results despite how hard I work is actually a big pride issue. So where Christy was talking about, she will fall into, the insecurities and the self-doubt and the unbelief of that, she can actually do it. I fall into the opposite where I'm going, I should be able to accomplish this. I know I'm good enough and I don't have to work hard for, or if I do work hard for and it doesn't work, if I fail, here's where this gets really unhealthy. I will just look and go, well, whose fault is it? It's not mine. I'll blame somebody else, right? And so this is actually a pride issue. The first one's insecurity and unbelief. The second one here is pride. You think that you are untouchable to the point where if something goes wrong, it's not on you, it's on somebody else. So again, I preface this with, this is not how Christy and I live our lives. This is like, if something happens at work or if we're not careful or we're getting into a season of burnout, it's easy for us to sometimes slip into parts of these camps.
Totally.
But again, as I said, we don't pitch our tents there. We don't live there. Because if we do, we wouldn't be able to do anything we do with our own businesses, brand strategy stuff, photo, video stuff, creative writing. None of this would happen if we lived in these camps because you just can't operate if you think these things about yourself. So the second one is really, really bad because it's all about pointing fingers and it's all about going, oh, well, I failed. The client didn't like my work. Well, it's their problem. That marketing director sucks. They're probably going to get fired or something like.
Or it's like, hey, I, am not booking out for this wedding season. It's the economy. It's not my fault. It's the economy. It's because nobody's booking weddings right now. It's because.
Yes.
And it's like a lack of, I think actually everybody struggles with both of these areas. I think that if you are someone who struggles with like the insecurity side, it will often manifest itself into the pride side of like, because I don't want to deal with the fact that I don't think I'm going to be successful, it's actually easier to blame it on other people or the economy or whatever it is. And not that those things aren't valid, right? There's plenty of factors that go into feeling successful or feeling like you're meeting your goals or actually attaining your goals. However, it's a really good thing to look and go, hey, which camp am I falling into when I'm unhealthy? Which camp am I falling into when I'm not meeting my goals? And deciding which one of those you're leaning into and going, how can I counteract that? Take responsibility, take a look at, not just like living in insecurity and actually moving forward. And I think that these 2 points really help somebody go, hey, how do I actually just get out of my own head? That's like the thing about mindset that I think I really appreciate is it helps you get out of your own head and actually look at reality and steps you're taking in order to build a business that
Mhm.
you love and that helps support your own dreams and goals,
Yeah.
which is super cool.
So then to touch on, so again, the first camp was I don't deserve results no matter how hard I'm going to work. I'm not it's just not good enough. The second camp is I deserve great results despite how hard I work, and if I don't get them, it's somebody else's fault. How you deal with that one? How do you get out of a season of that? How
Mhm.
do you get out of struggling with that? Well, you get out of it by similar to what Christy said about how you get out of the first camp. You get out of that negative space by surrounding yourself with people that will look at you and go, "Bro, check yourself. Stop blaming other people. Stop blaming
True.
the economy. Yeah, the economy might be tightening up, but what are you doing in your marketing or your sales or your branding? What are your offers looking like? We need to help you actually see that there might be issues that you can control, right?
Yeah.
Because the problem with that second one is we always try and push the failures or push the uncomfort or the discomfort or the pain of whatever you're going through onto somebody else, where we just need to look at where it might be coming inside of us. I'm not, I said I was going to redo my website 2 years ago. It sucks. And I'm wondering why all these clients aren't booking calls with me when they see my website. Well, it's the economy's fault. The clients don't
I
have
don't
budget,
I don't have the time
or
because
your
I have
website
all
just
these people
sucks,
that
right?
need
So
me.
in a season where I'm going through some of that, where I'm like, gosh, it just feels like it's so easy to point fingers and blame things. I have to focus on what are the things I can control in my environment that I might not be doing well, and how do I stop pointing fingers and start pointing fingers at myself and go, where can I really work on this? And then the second part of that, it's just like Christy said, you got to get around people. You got to get around people that are going to call you out on that. You got to get around
Yeah.
people that are going to push you to work on the things you need to work on and take self responsibility when something doesn't go well.
Yeah.
Um, I see a lot of creatives in the creative community who they blame the Instagram algorithm, blame the economy, they blame whatever they're blaming, and they get in these little struggle clubs of people like me when I get really unhealthy in this side, this camp where we like to point fingers and blame people, where our issue is pride. It's not actually insecurity. I'm not an insecure person. My issue is pride, right? We get in these struggle clubs. There's creatives that get in these struggle clubs and they get together and they all just start struggling and getting complaining and getting super pessimistic about things. And every time I see this, I've been doing this now for a decade. Every time you fast forward 5 years, they're all still in the same spot because their pessimism is putting a ceiling on where they go. So it's so important, whether you are in the first camp or the second camp, to figure out how to actually reframe these mindsets. We told you we're going to give you a reframe. If you're in either this camp or that camp, what's the solution? The solution is to in a season where things feel a little bit more difficult. The solution is to reframe yourself to what is true about how you should be thinking about yourself and thinking about your business. And that is, here's the reframe, that you will always generate the results that you believe you deserve.
Yeah.
So a couple keywords there. You will always generate. Generate means you're putting in the work. You're doing the things. So that solves camp number 2. That's like I deserve results without having to work really hard
Yeah.
because I'm prideful. Well, no. You have to go generate it. It's not about somebody else. It's not about the economy. You have to go generate. You got to make it happen. So that's the first part on how this reframe solves that. You will generate the results. And then the second part of that is you believe you deserve. That solves camp 1. That solves the insecurity problems. And that is, I have to believe that this is going to work out for me. Even if it feels difficult, I might have to go, as Christy said, borrow confidence from somebody. I'm going to have to call a friend and say, hey, just talk to me about how you think I'm going to be successful. Look at everything I'm doing because I'm not feeling it today. You have to believe. You got to find belief within yourself, even if you have to borrow it from somebody else.
Yeah.
Because if you can do that, you will end up generating the results that you believe you deserve. That's how it works for Christy and I. It's how it works for you. We've gotten to coach hundreds of people, hundreds of you guys that listen to the show, through the mastermind and, through the podcast over the years, thousands of you. And this is what it comes down to, guys. It comes down to your head has to be in the right place, believing that you will honestly generate the results you believe you deserve. And if you can reframe on that, you will get out of unhealthy seasons pretty quick. And you'll be sleeping like a baby because your business will be going well. You won't be kept up at night. You'll be like this little guy right here.
I feel like everybody that's watching on like YouTube didn't hear a word we said and is only looking at the puppy, and I get it. He is so cute. So yeah, you guys, I hope this is so helpful. Again, mindset is not something to dismiss or think is not valuable, but actually something that it takes to take the time. You actually get what you put in. So if you really focus on this stuff, I think it's really going to help you in your
Yeah,
business. So
totally.
hope this was helpful.
If it was, share it.
If it
Share it with a
was,
friend.
share it.
Put it on your Instagram story. Screenshot this episode. Throw it up on Instagram. Throw the link in there. and tag us. So the tag Creative Rise so we can see it, we can repost it, and bonus if you tag at Joey Spears and at Christy J Spears. We'd love to just connect with you there. Say hi. And get to repost it, and then also let us know if you think that we should be doing some more episodes with our little guy in here. So
did we tell them the name?
yeah, I said his name's Bogey.
Oh yeah, Bogey.
Bogey, and the reason why we named him Bogey, you want to tell him?
Yeah, the reason why I named him Bogey, one, he literally watches TV. He literally watches golf.
The first thing I ever had on the TV was golf, and he stared at
and
it.
he just stared and watched the TV. And then secondly, bogey and golf, it means +1. So
Like when you shoot 1 over par,
One over,
you should have shot a 3, you shot a 4. It's a +1.
So he's our +1.
He's our little +1.
Cute.
So cute. All right, guys, we'll catch you next week. Thanks for being here. Hopefully you can dial this in this week, and this is going to help you in 2024. We'll catch you next time. See ya.